Alright guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Raighne Daniel from Tutorials and Showcases channel. So we're going to do the math experiment time. Okay, so now in this video we're going to show you about finding the missing numbers for a whole number and this similar fractions. Not the mixed number, because this mixed number is very difficult to solve, finding the missing number. Okay, so now before we start, you have the math rules, right? So math means that have numbers, okay, so numbers and the operations that we can do in action. For example, we're going to set a numbers, okay, so your numbers is 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Okay, so numbers have 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, and numbers like 5, 6, 7, 8, and etc. Okay, so now after that you go into the operations, which is plus for addition, and subtraction, minus, times, and divide. Okay, so now this two of them, how we're going to use the product first, we show you about this one. Okay, so let's show you the example. So this one, I will show you this. For the products is a symbol of dot, times, and this product, the parenthesis, and some asterisk, wildcard. Okay, so now alpha square roots and double square roots. Okay, so there you have an answer to the product. Now how about the division quotient? Means you have a divide, and the division method is basic division symbol. Okay, so now you have to get your answer here. So now we're going to numbers, and operations will be checked. So now what we're going to do is the numbers are here and these two operations. Okay, so numbers, you're going to the operations, just like 1 plus 1 equals 2. That's very simple. Okay, so this one, 1 plus 1 equals 2, this will take the action to get the final answer. 1 plus 1 equals 2. This 2 means you have a final answer if we solve this problem. Okay, so now we're done with the math explanation. Now how about the transpose method and inverse method? So let's show you do that. So transpose means you have to find this number like this. Okay, so now you have x plus 3 equals 2. So now you're finding x plus 3 equals 2. So what we're gonna do is to move to the right. Okay, so now you're going to move to the right here, is just like that. You have to move from the right. Okay, so now it should be like this. X equals 2. Let's see. No. I mean 5. Let's try it again. Alright, so this one will move to x equals 5 minus 3. It will become x equals 5 minus 3 and x equals 2. You need to solve this thing until you get final answer. Okay, so that's how transpose works. Why? Because you will need to get the missing number of x. So you can see this one, I would say underline this thing. This one, x, you need to solve this problem until you get 2. So now you need to check that. Why? Because you will get the transpose method. This 3 plus 5. No, sorry. Now you have to get final answer. 5 equals to 5? True. Okay? That's your final answer. Now, how about the inverse method? So let's show you about that. Okay? So now you have inverse method means I'll go to, for example, there's here 5 equals x plus, let's say r. Okay, so x plus 8 equals 12. How we're gonna do is the select the transpose method x. So most users cannot explain this transpose method, otherwise have an inverse method will be easier to explain this thing, just like a transpose method. So like x plus 8 minus 8. Okay, now we just put the equal sign after that, and 12. Now after this thing we need to copy this thing to the right. Okay, that means you have minus 8 here. Okay, 12 minus 8. So now you have to get the answer is 12 minus 8, it's 4. Okay, x equals 4. You have to get a final answer. That's how the inverse method works than the transpose method. Now, how this thing basic purpose? Transpose method means that we move left to right is pretty easier to solve the missing numbers, and inverse method has to, most users will be fully explain about this just like the transpose method. Okay, so now we have that one. Alright, so now you get your equipment, paper, and a pencil, anything that you writing materials that you need. Okay, when you're ready, now let's start this tutorial. Okay, so now we are starting the tutorial now. So first you need to do is the whole number, just like the transpose method. Now we have a question mark plus minus 5 equals 2. So how we get the question mark is to rename variables is like a, b, c, d, e, f, g, and etc, so on. Okay, so mine, I will kind of choose x. If you go ahead and put your numbers, it should have a mistake. Okay, so you have to write small or big letters only. Okay, so x. Now this one numbers can be confused to solve it. Okay, so you have to put x here, the variables. Okay, so x minus 5 equals 2. Okay, so x minus 5 equals 2. So now x, you need to transpose or inverse it. I'll just say I like to transpose. So I'll move on here. 5 plus 2. Why? Let's explain this thing. Why? Because this one, I will go do addition and subtraction, that works as a vice versa in the opposite direction, two-way. Okay, multiplication and division, that moves to two-way direction, same as these addition and subtraction transferring method. Okay, so now you have to get final answer. Now next, second one you're gonna do is for example, I'm gonna do 7 to the second one, question mark equals 10. Okay, so 7 equals 10. You need to find your examples. Okay, so go 7, it will become 7, x equals 10. Okay, so now after that you have to find the x value to the missing number. Okay, so now you have x equals 10 minus 7, same as this one, first one, and you'll get the final answer. Okay, this is the final answer, 3. Okay, so you're done at the whole number. Now let's move on to the fractions. Fractions, we're going to show you about that. This one, fractions, means I have a 3 and 3. You have to underline this. It's so easy. So you can see 3 over 3 is here. Otherwise, 6, 6, and 3. Okay, so this one has the same denominator, while others we have 4 and 5. Okay, so now you have just 4 and 5. How about all we're going to do is 3 and 1 there. Now, this one, numerators cannot be changed its values, but otherwise denominators can be changed as similar or dissimilar fraction. Okay, so now 4 and 5 has dissimilar because it's different. Otherwise 3 and 3 have a similar fraction because it's same as a denominator. Okay, so now we're going to solve this one. Let's show you the example first. 1, 1. No. So I'm gonna write this first. 1. Okay, so now you're going to go 1 over 1 plus 1 over 1. Now our final answer, 2 over 1. And simplify it if possible. Now it'll become 2. Now if I go to different function, is 3 over 16 plus for anything that you want, 16. Okay, so now you get the final answer, 7 over 16. Now if you want to simplify it here, so 4 over 8 plus 6 over 8. No. Mistakes. Okay, so 4 over 6 and putting the order, let's say 2. Okay, now this one here, 4 plus 2 equals 6. You need to copy the denominator 8 because it will not make changes to the dissimilar fractions. Okay, so now you can find answer. Now 6 over 8 can be still simplify. Yes, now you need to do is 3 over 4. Now you have to get the answer. Okay, so now you go to the dissimilar fractions. So your dissimilar fractions means that has a dissimilar. We're going to, for example, that's 2 over 4 and 5. Okay, what we're gonna do now. In this book we reviewed earlier, so we're going to do that. Just write 2 over 4 times 5. What's our final answer? 10 over 20. Okay, so now next 3 over 5 times the 4 over 4 equals 12 over 20. Now how do you find it to get answer? Now you need to do is, if this are same, no changes. Okay, so 12 plus 10 equals 22 over 20. Now can you still simplify? Yes. Now you have a mixed number if there are big from the improper fraction. So 22 divided by 20 is, now we're going to steal this as a remainder. We're going to use the mixed fractions. Now in this process, so we're going to the down and the cycling, just like a cycling process. Now this cycling process is shaped like a J. Okay, so you have to write that. This first one, second one that I said the cycling earlier, and 20. Now it can still simplify. Yes, now you're going to do is 1 over 110. 110 is the final answer. Okay, so now how about do we go to this dissimilar fractions, and that's a same one. So let's say 1 over 3 plus question mark. So how are we going to find the question mark? 3 over 3. So how are we gonna get the final answer here? Okay, so now you guys get equals. So how we're gonna do that? Just using the transpose method is it this works. Okay, so now you have to find your variables. So just rename as a fraction. Okay. After that, you need to do is x equals, you need to move the right as I said earlier, 4 3 minus 1 over 3. Now this one is same, but it will create 3 over 3. Now that's your final answer. Or you just simplify to 3 over 3 over 1. That's your final answer. That's what I said earlier. Okay? So now we're going to move on to the dissimilar fractions. So let's start with that. Okay, so now we have x over 5 plus 4 over 6 equals, let's see what happens. So I'll be right back in a moment. I'll solve this problem. Okay, so I already solved this problem. Now, how to do this, finding the dissimilar fractions. Now, most components we need to solve this missing fractions is the rational expressions. Now, why this means? Now, let's show you this thing. Now, this first example is this one, and I will solve this missing number, question mark. Okay, so now you need to rewrite a variable just like this. You need to do this as well. Next is, now how we gonna do this thing? Now we need to find the LCD is the denominator, which is not similar to this fraction denominator. Okay, so now you need to find the LCD. Now what this 5 6 15 does, it is 30, right? Now you put 30 to between the parentheses, out the parentheses like that. Okay, so now 30 divided by 15 is 2. Now 2 times 16 is 32. Okay, so now first you need to do below this denominator by this parenthesis from the LCD going to denominator, it will be divided and then divided to the multiplied by the numerator. Okay, so now it should be like this. I'm going to put 32 right here. Then now 30 divided by 5 is 6, and 6x put here. Okay, so now you have to continuously divide until you get the equation. Okay, so now 44 30 and 20. Okay, so now mine is 6x plus 20 equals 32. Okay, so now how you need to transpose this thing. Okay, so now you put 6x equals 32 minus 20. That was said earlier. Now you need to go back to your introduction that you said below. Okay, now you'll get 12. Okay, so now you need to divide to eliminate this x. You put both sides by 6, the numerator to denominator. Okay, so now we're using x. Now this equation, x equals 2, will get the final answer. Now this question mark will be 2. That's right. You need to rewrite this variable into 2. Okay, so now your final answer should be this thing. Okay, so now already to the next step. Okay, so now let's see another examples, which is 3 over 8. Now this rational expressions is the most finding numbers, that is all of these fractions to find this number. Okay, so now you have question mark equals 5. Okay, should be like this. Okay, so now this one 3 8 and question mark over 5 equals 1 740. Now before we just get into improper fractions, you need to rewrite this variable first, just in case. Now, this mixed number, how we're gonna do this LCD first. Now, you need to rewrite this 40 and 1 and 7 as to the proper fraction. So now you have put 38 plus x 5 equals. Now, how are we gonna do this thing? First, you need to multiply the denominator and the whole, and then you need to add the multiplied number to add by numerator. Okay, so now mine is 47 over 40. Now after that, you need to copy the denominator. Okay, so now it should be like this. Then you need to get the LCD that we said earlier and need to solve it. Now, if doesn't help, you need to go back to first adding the similar fractions if you need help. Okay, so now I'm going to do this thing. Okay, so this one 40, and you can see like this. Now 47, 15, 8x, 47, 32, 8x equals 4. And that is the final answer. X equals 4. That's the final answer. That we need to do is the question mark equals 4. That is okay. That you have been equal to rewrite the variable. Okay. So now you can use the similar fractions as we do in this same thing one. Okay. So now we have um, just like this. Let's see. Can I see this thing? And 2 over 3. Okay. So now you can now use the LCD, the rational expressions. You can now can use it. You can see I can now just reduce the fractions. 1 plus x plus 2. 2 plus 1. You see x 3x. I mean 3x. So this thing 3x. 3x divided by 3. And that's your final answer. X equals 1 over 3. So now we're going to fully just missing the dissimilar fractions. So how we find this thing? For example, I'll go here like this. Question mark equals. Alright. Okay, so this one, how we gonna use the finding numbers? If this question mark, you need to rewrite this x that we said earlier, this rational expressions. Okay, so now this one is more or hard to solve this thing. So you need to do is write this x first, 53 over 63. Okay, so now you need to find the LCD, 7 and 63. These are two numbers that we need to solve this problem. So this one is 63. That is the same thing as the rational expressions, this finding the x number. Okay, so now you have to cancel, and remaining is 53. Okay, so now this 9 is 18, and this one is 63x now equals. Okay, so now you need to rewrite as 63 equals 53 minus 18. That's we transpose it. Then, no, 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 no. I mean, this one is the 63x. There we go. Sixty-three, 53 minus 18. Okay, so this one, 63 x 15 3 minus 18. I'll just do the same one. Now this one will be simplified as 63 both sides, and it will contain as x equals 5 over 9. Okay, so did you get it? The dissimilar fractions. If it's hard, you can try do it best. If you need help, you just go back to first solution and I will answer it for you. Okay, so if this works well and it's good, this has to be fine. So that's it for my all this finding the whole numbers and fractions. So now I thank you for watching in this video. So now let's go to the outro and see you guys in the math experiment time. Bye. So that's it guys for this update report video. If you like this video, make sure to watch up the end for the outro video that shows where you can subscribe. Please like and comment on this video. That's all for now, and see you in the next video. Have a great time.